You're watching Adorama TV.
Welcome back to this week's iPad application review right here on Adorama TV. Well, this week we're going to look at an application called ColorSplash. So let's take a look. ColorSplash is an application that allows you to selectively add or subtract color from your photos. So this is a photo that I started working on just a little bit ago, and it's of a model in a very green background, and I've taken that green background out. So let me start from the beginning and show you how this works. So to start, what you do is you push the Images button, and then you can go in. I'm going to bring in a very, very colorful photo so I can really exaggerate how this works. So here's a photo of a model with lots of color around her. And it begins by loading in the image and turns it into a grayscale image. So once you have that, what you can do is then you can just use your finger to then color in where you want to have color in your image. Now there are two buttons that are very useful at the top. One says color and one says gray. So if I accidentally color in too much, I can push the gray button, and then again I can go in here and use my finger to color that out. So by using gray or color, I can color or remove color from a photo. Now there's a shortcut to this, and that is you simply double tap on the screen and I am adding color, double tap, and I'm removing color. So to get these really fine edges, all you have to do is you can zoom in with your fingers, and then two fingers allows you to move around. So I'll zoom in again. I'll double tap so I'm on the color up here, and then I can really get into those edges and make sure that I'm getting it exactly how I want it to be. Now there's another feature that's really nice as you're working through your image. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see exactly where you've colored and where you haven't. Again, I forgot to tell you, you can double tap with your fingers, two fingers, and it'll return the entire screen, image to the screen. So again, sometimes it's difficult to see where you have edited. So I'll zoom in here to this hair. And when I start adding color, sometimes it's not so obvious where that color is because this is obviously a black part of the image. So I can push this red dot here, and it gives me an overlay of exactly where I've added or subtracted color. So if it has red, that means there's color. If there's no red, there isn't any color. So then I can go in here and actually add in color, double tap, remove some color, and once I'm done, I'll hit this red, and again, it goes back to the original image. So the red is just a guide to show you where you've added or subtracted color. Now there are some other features that you can use that are really nice. So I'm going to zoom in here to this model's eye. So there's a brush button here, and it opens up, and you can have either a soft-edged brush or a hard-edged brush. So if you're using a really straight line or something, a hard edge might work just really nice for you. And so you don't have any feathering on the edge of that. But I like to have a nice soft brush so I can sort of work things in and out. Now there's also this full and partial. Full means that the brush is fully opaque. In other words, when you paint, you're adding the color all the way to its max. If you hit partial, what happens is it's transparent, and when you paint on, you have to paint multiple times. So I'm going to zoom down here to the lips to show you exactly how this works. So again, I've had this set to partial, and so now when I paint over the lips, it just brings in a little bit of the color. And the more I paint, the more color comes in. And so you can sort of use that if you have something that's really highly saturated to just bring in a little bit of color, not all of it, and then you can sort of paint on more or less color as you go. So I'm going to go back to this full brush right here, and I'm going to just color in her lips really fast. Okay, so now that we have that, we'll zip back out, and we see that we have this sort of unusual looking picture. So this is not one I think I would use this for. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to this button. It's called Sessions. And so I'm going to hit my Sessions, and I'm going to load in a picture that I did previously. It's going to ask me if I want to save my changes. On this one, I don't. So I'm going to say Don't Save. And then here's an image that I used this for. And this was a portrait of a friend of mine, and she had some very, very green trees in the background. So I took that green out. And so I can really quickly paint in and show you that, yeah, there was a lot of green back there. So I didn't want that, so I removed it. Now the nice thing is this has an undo feature, so I can hit undo, and what I just did goes away. So it's very, very simple just to add and subtract color in your photos. And then of course, when you're done, you can hit save and share. You can save the image to your photo library. You can save the session so you can return and edit that at a future time. You can email the image, or you can upload it directly to Facebook. Or if you need to put it into a presentation or something, you can copy it to clipboard and then paste it into Apple's Keynote or a similar application like that. Well, that's ColorSplash. Again, thanks for tuning in, and if you have an iPad application you'd like us to review, just send it in to askmark@adorama.com, and we'll see you next week.
This episode is brought to you by Adorama TV. Visit the Adorama Learning Center where you'll find photography tips and techniques, links to the gear used in this episode, and related videos. For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. And the next time you're in New York City, visit our store located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue.